I'm ready now.
Oh, wait. All right. Well, this is something. We are doing a Ehlers-Danlos related. This is what you have, kiddo. Good luck. Take solace in the fact that we're all a little broken here. This is my, I guess, co-host, fellow chronic pain enjoyer, Drew, and I'm Chris, as you have known on my thing and on his thing. Hi, I'm Chris. Get fucked. Anyway, what? Well, I have to be polite. Oh, and this is Ale, by the way. She is our standard of normality. We're going to use her bones and limbs as a normal. Yeah, we're going to use her as like a normalcy test, so we can fully comprehend what is normal now. That's my figure.
Yeah, that's actually very good and also very unusual because you never really have. I've never really seen a stream where there's only guys. Actually, I've never seen a video when two guys have Ehlers-Danlos at the same time.
Yeah.
I've never seen it ever.
Yeah, we are.
Okay, maybe, but then it'd be like 50 people. But like when it's like few people, I've never seen that. It's just so unusual, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, speaking of the zebra-isms, for those unaware and those discovering for the first time, Ehlers-Danlos syndrome is known as zebras. The people of the disorder are known as zebras, as the British call them zebras. And it is called that because they teach you something in medical school that is, when looking at a disorder, don't think of zebras, think of horses.
The saying comes from Occam's razor when they say if you hear hoofbeats, think about horses and not zebras.
Yeah, that's another thing. Although Occam's razor has become Occam's fucking spy-hander at this point, so let's be real here. But anyways, yeah, we have a myriad of symptoms, Drew and I do. A lot of comorbidities with Ehlers-Danlos. There's multiple types. There's 13 types specifically.
That are known.
Yeah, most common is hypermobile, but you get into the other ones, it gets kind of strange. There's one that's specifically, the most lethal form is vascular. That one specifically affects the veins and arteries, and that one tends to kill people around their early to mid-30s.
Oh, but if you know about it, you're usually dying. If they are undiagnosed, they die before in the age, but they can survive until their 40s if they know about it.
Yeah, there's one case of that. But, hey, it's always possible to become a medical oddity or a medical record, or it's always possible.
I mean, like if you have EDS, that's rare itself. And if you have vascular, it's even more rare. And if you have vascular and live past 70, that's like, then you're not just a zebra, you're a centaur and a unicorn.
Yeah, no. Yeah, if you have survived this condition, you are a fucking centaur. Congratulations. Here is your bow. Don't rape anything. But they're all animal people. They are. Okay, they are, but well, yes, but no. Yeah. But anyways. Look, motherfucker, you're the one that told me not to get off topic, and here you are talking about the goddamn centaurs, okay? Like, fuck. Anyways, so, yes, so some of the common symptoms, elastic skin, joints, as you can see looking at us, our skin is kind of
nice,
tiny, reflective, almost light, right? Like there's almost a like reflection to it a little bit. And it's not just because we're both incredibly fucking pale, but yeah, you see that slight glow there. Our skin reflects light differently, so that's one of the tells that you can kind of see. We tend to be ectomorphs, skinny, essentially, real skinny. With that kind of thing. Yeah, he's got that. I mean, I'm like, I've gained weight in the torso, but the rest of me is still what it's always been. And speaking of hypermobility, there's an example there.
I have this example.
Yeah.
Do I do the same?
Yeah, it's about the same.
Wait, it's
That's normal. This is EDS.
oh.
So
Oh
yeah.
God, I didn't even know that I could do that.
Yeah. I mean, and a fun trick is that you can touch your thumb to your arm. Yeah, you can do it too. Yeah, she. Not very much. She's trying.
She's a lot more bendy than most people.
Yeah, she's more mobile than some people. But that's just because.
But you still can't do it like yesterday.
So again, there are some telltale signs. I don't think you see a whole. Well, okay. I've seen one, maybe two examples of black people with other things. It seems to 9 times out of 10 be Caucasians.
And that includes Indians.
Do they get it as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Indian.
But Indo-Europeans, we are related, so that's logical.
I'd say the other order. And some comorbidities with EDS are things like POTS, which is short for postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Essentially, your brain can't tell your heart to pump blood to your head. Essentially.
And so therefore, when you stand up, the heart rate goes like woo, and then you basically, the blood kind of like doesn't go around as it's supposed to be. So you basically kind of like are affected by gravity too much. It's in the bottom of the body, and that's where you can get like your legs can become like pinkish, if that makes sense.
Yes, it tends to cool. My feet turn pink all the time if I stand still long enough. Just standing's difficult. We can't stand for long periods of time.
It's such a good time.
And I take this collagenate mixture that this one makes.
Basically, what it has is just a bottle of water mixed with 2 collagen pills, L-lysine for 1, and then also salt and baking soda for electrolytes. Plus, he also has hypoglycemia, so I have to put sugar in it. It's basically a catch-all for like any condition that he has. And no, it doesn't taste really good, but it helps him.
Yeah. Consuming salt if you have POTS is a very good idea.
Extremely good idea. And actually, it can take up to about 10 milligrams every day.
Yeah.
Actually, or well, 10 milligrams? Something 10 grams.
No, 10 grams is way too much. Like that's enough salt to braise your pork. That's not gonna.
Either way, you need a lot of salt.
The good part is that you can actually then eat more salt than other people.
Yeah, true. You tend to.
Be a party trick.
Yeah, it actually could be.
Another one.
You get accustomed to consuming excessive amounts of salt, then you could actually do wages with people and say like, okay, you know how people have spicy competitions, right? Like with chilies, and hot wings, and shit like that. You can challenge people and wager money on it, and challenge them for something like a spicy competition, but instead it's salty, in which you can handle salty things without feeling dehydrated or weird. And with POTS, you can usually win, especially if you're used to taking salt daily to help your heart and blood pressure and all this other stuff, because our blood pressure tends to drop quite a bit, especially when we stand. It's very common pots to stand up and then like fall back down because you stood up too quick and then you like faint a little bit. It's actually quite common. I used to do all the time. Actually, when I lived in California on Travis Air Force Base, I stood up in one room. I don't remember what happened, and then I woke up in the room next to it. Like I must have tried to go to the other room and then passed out on the way there.
Wow. Did you fall down?
So that was some 10+ years ago, but still, it's so strange to me. But I have another common symptom. Dislocations, subluxations. Your joints buckle. Your joints aren't very stable. They buckle. They kind of shake in place. That's very common. And I completely dislocated my left kneecap.
That sounds horribly painful.
Yeah, I had to use a cane to walk properly for like a couple years after that. But
Yikes.
for the most part, I'm fully recovered from it.
Yeah, I do have a lot of problem with walking. Like if basically it tends to hurt. Like when you walk, does it hurt automatically after a while, or?
It's supposed to. When you're walking, your heart's supposed to adjust to it. It still does with POTS, not as well as normal people. But what gets our heart fucked up is standing up straight and still. If we're moving around, our heart kind of gets the signal to pump to our brain. But if we're just standing still, our heart doesn't get that signal, so the blood goes down and pools into your feet and hands.
Yeah, I usually am not.
It'll pool. The blood pressure and the blood rate will drop, but the blood won't be in your head as much. But if you're moving around and active and whatnot, it'll actually kind of get that signal to pump to your brain.
This actually reminds me of a video I saw of a female EDS who basically said that she thinks it's more painful to stand up than to walk. So if she's in a line, she tends to just like try to like move around a little bit. So I read that, but for me, I think that does everybody has EDS also have POTS? Is that just like most people?
Not all the time, but it is a comorbidity.
Right, because I don't know if I have that. I just know that like if I get up out of like a bathroom or too quickly, my heart can hurt and I can feel dizzy. But I always thought that was like normal. Like I do get this if I stand up. Like like hello darkness, my old friend. I stood up too fast again.
1 second. Sorry, headphone users.
Oh, I have too much autism to use headphones for long, so.
Yeah, I kind of do too. But so other common comorbidities is autism, neurodivergence, any form of your brain not being normal.
Any form or just some forms?
I think really any form. It's just you're more likely to have neurodivergence with yes.
Doesn't that include any mental disorder?
Yeah, your gastroparesis is another comorbidity. I just didn't get that one in particular, but it seems like I got the POTS identity. So again, there's comorbidity means you're likely to have both, but it doesn't always mean you'll have both.
Yeah. Like for example, I've almost never been able to like properly eat food for any time. Whenever I was just very lucky, and I didn't really understand how I could do it. But then I used to always still felt really ill very quickly when I tried to eat food. So therefore I had to like take it slow. And I never understood why. So I felt like really bad about it for like 20 years before I knew that was like could be caused by something.
I had a eating disorder and that was. I don't think that was that related to the EDS, but I was very much like I was very much voracious. I would eat massive amounts of food and never get full. I would always be hungry. Now, keep in mind, I was one of the experimented children that doctors, with coincidentally tiny hats, decided to experiment on by giving me fucking meth.
Wow.
They gave me Ritalin and Strattera and a bunch of other ADHD meds to pay attention in the indoctrination camp just in case. Okay.
It's literally the same thing.
Yeah. There's a link. Look at the screen here. It's something Dale pulled up. It is conditions linked to EPS.
Oh. I mean, like, basically for me, when I tried to eat, it was not like that I had like ate too much and never got full. It was basically that I felt ill when I tried to eat, and I felt full if I took a bite. If I basically would just sit and take a bite, and I would be full, or if I would sit and I just drank a little bit, and I would be full, and then I had like an entire plate to eat, and I had to like force myself to eat all of it, and that was horrible, and I hated that so much. It was like a nightmare for almost every day.
It is strange. We tend to have stomach-related issues. I have a hiatal hernia. You have the gastroparesis, and that may contribute to how EDSers are typically ectomorphs. Very tall and skinny, very the tall, skinny fucks of the body world, and that's very much what we end up being. I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've ever seen anything.
I've seen a few, but they're mostly just on reviews.
Yeah,
But they're not very common because
Yeah.
it's like a month and more. Yeah.
Yeah, not a whole lot of them tend to have excessive body weight. So
I've heard the morphanoid habitus. That is when you like have. Oh, there's one sign is that if you have this, can do this. If you can put your thumb past these fingers and having it straight, that's a sign. No, you can't do it, but not everybody with EDS can do it. This is a criteria for hypermobile EDS, I know. No, you can't do it. Oh my god, you can't do it at all. Oh right, that makes sense. No, I don't. You need to have it straight.
yeah, it is straight.
Yeah, but you need to put it past. The thumbnail needs to stick out.
My hand always does that.
Right, but the thumb doesn't go past your pinky. You need to see it like this. See?
Yeah,
Right, but this just counted if you can do this. You see, like my thumb goes past the fingers.
I'm not as hypermobile as a lot of them, mostly because I'm 6'10", and that tends to cause some,
Oh, I know another problem. I know that is that you have long fingers, which means that I can't fit into any shoes ever.
Yeah, this is my hands.
Should we tell her about the braces?
Oh yeah, braces for unstable joints is also a common thing that we have. It's very much trying to keep the joints stable. But this is a typical, to give a size comparison. This is a Pepsi can compared to my hand. So this is the 12 fluid ounce cans, and this, so.
I know I have very small hands, but I have like very long fingers.
Yeah. El's kind of built like a linebacker. So yes. Let me.
And I put on mine too because I also have these that he has. Is how to say that, but it's because I have very unstable wrists. They hurt a lot. Well, that's very good. If I need to work out, I need to have these on. If that makes sense.
So, hypermobile EDS is associated with a range of digestive disorders. These may be problems due to the structure of the gut, hernias, high. Also common is malfunctioning of the coordination of involuntary muscle movements, which push food along the digestive tract. That's you. Leading to issues such as acid reflux and irritable bowel syndrome. Treatment is according to the symptoms. So, some daunting things. Actually, I never got to read it, but I do know that there were medical reports written about me specifically.
That's pretty cool.
I had a doctor named Colonel Scott when I lived on the air base, and he wrote reports about EDS and pain disorders, things like that. And he used me as an example.
Well, you're a prime example.
Yeah, so that's kind of cool to me because my great uncle Joe is in the medical books for polio patients.
Wow.
He was one of the first to be given the polio vaccine.
Like the entire family, tree is listed in like a medical journal.
Yeah, essentially, yeah. Like half my family trees are medical journals. My father has a lot of symptoms of hypermobile EDS, and he has a lot of symptoms of autism, but because he's a boomer, they didn't catch any of that stuff. Right?
Yeah, I know my dad and my sister also have symptoms of autism, but me and my niece have autism. And we both are child number 2 of our parents. So like if you have a disorder in your family, you can't get it with the first kid. More likely to come with the second. That's just how it goes.
Yeah. Now, for POTS, malfunctioning of the part of the nervous system that controls involuntary bodily functions, e.g., breathing, heart rate, is common with hypermobile EDS. Symptoms include trouble with low blood pressure, digestive and bladder problems, and temperature and sweating dysregulation.
I think I got that.
Yeah, you can manage the condition by drinking more fluids, improving your cardiovascular fitness, and if your daily function is severely impaired, taking medications.
One of the best way to fix, or I know I treat a lot of EDS is to drink a lot of fluids, more than most other people.
One thing they don't mention about POTS is that it tends to make your it causes blood pool. That's a major symptom. Is if your hands turn bright pink, like all the time, every so often, that's a symptom of POTS.
Really?
Especially if you're standing, walking around, whatever. It's quite common for because I actually do this trick where if I'm standing and my arms are by my side, eventually they'll turn pink, and then I put my hands over my head for like 10 seconds, and then they turn to normal colors again.
Oh, so you're like a blood bag. You just have to put, and then if you put something outside, the blood thing's falling down.
Yeah. I'm a very tall blood bag.
That sounds debilitating.
Weird how it doesn't say much about neurodiversity.
But we know a lot about it already, so we don't have to read. We can just tell from memory.
It's got one thing on neurodiversity, huh? Yeah. What do you think I'm on? Yeah. Well, you're not wrong. It's just my peripheral vision shot. That's all that is. Nystagmus is another thing. Yeah, you tend to get. There should be vision on here. Find it. I mean, my eyes tend to shake quite a bit, especially if I try to follow things with my eyes.
I don't know if this is relevant, but I can blow air with my eye.
I think they're both equally active. Yeah. I think my eyes shake equally.
But can you blow out air with your eye?
Wait, what?
Blow out air with your eye.
I don't know how that works.
You know, you just close the nose and the mouth, and you blow, and then it comes to the eye.
Maybe? I don't know. I don't think so.
It does for me at least. It's and a few of my relatives. So I guess that because you know when all the body parts are too loose, that's why I guess it might be related.
Close your nose, breathe air into your eyes or something?
Yeah, I can do that.
I've never even heard of this.
That's because almost nobody can do that.
Oh yeah, this area.
I just did now. That's why usually when I do, my eye gets dry and I need to cry. But I did right now there.
Okay. So we can put that as another thing that can happen, is where this part of your face is kind of
Loose.
Entire region really that would just be loose because of lack of collagen adhesion to whatever it's supposed to do.
this area.
Well, that and also just this example.
Yeah, it's the whole sinus. The whole sinus part.
I think if we haven't described already, we can just describe it. Collagen is basically the protein that's going to the connective tissue that pulls itself together, and if it's defective, the body is not holding itself together as it's supposed to do, and it can cause a lot of problems that we are talking about now.
It's essentially the building block of the human body, which normal people have Legos. We have blockos. That's very much what we end up having is fucking blockos. So yes.
That's a good comparison. Another comparison I heard is basically normal people have super glue, but we are basically like threads made out of bark stapled together with metal plaques.
Yeah. Wow, yeah.
Should we also mention the connection or distinction or between Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and hypermobility spectrum disorder? Because I did read a little bit about that. I think it's just because they're like almost the same thing. The only difference is that if somebody wants to have a diagnosis of HSD, it's less criteria if you want to have a diagnosis than for EDS. And if you have hypermobile EDS, you can't just take a DNA test like with all the other subtypes. So therefore, it's not actually sure. People don't actually know where hypermobility spectrum disorder ends and EDS begins. Because somebody that has almost enough criteria for a hypermobile EDS that don't have it would have HSD instead. And many doctors are there's a theory that suggests that parts of HSD is actually the same thing as EDS. Like it's kind of like really weird, and I don't really understand it, but it's basically all I know about it.
Yeah, I've never even heard of it, honestly. I mean, I'm looking at something for it now. No, it's yeah. hypermobility means the person's joints have a greater range of motion than is expected or normal. Those babies and children are naturally very flexible, means making them less flexible to grow. For some, up to about 20% of people being flexible and double jointed is not usually a problem. For some, like dancers and gymnasts, it is an advantage. Hypermobility that does not cause pain or other symptoms is referred to as asymptomatic joint hypermobility and does not need to be treated. The problem occurs when joints are not just hypermobile but also unstable. Joint instability occurs when the bones of a joint aren't held in place securely. This can lead to joint subluxations, dislocations, sprains, and other injuries. Joint instability can cause both acute and chronic pain and interfere with daily life. Joint hypermobility and or instability may be a person's only problem. They can also occur as part of a known syndrome, such as types of Ehlers-Danlos, Marfan syndrome, or Down syndrome. Hypermobility spectrum disorders occur when a person has symptomatic joint hypermobility but cannot be explained by other conditions. A person with HSD may have joint instability as their only concern or may have other medical issues as well. What is a disorder? Medical disorder is defined as an illness or condition that disrupts normal physical or mental functions. If joint hypermobility causes problems that disrupt normal functions, it is a disorder. If joint hypermobility isn't causing any issues or pain, it is not considered to be a disorder. I guess it's just. I think with HSD, it's more so if you're hypermobile, but it's not painful as fuck. It's not.
No. It can be painful, but you can't diagnose somebody if somebody have hypermobility and chronic pain, right? But you can't diagnose it with any other disorder like EDS or Marfan syndrome. But
it seems to just be like a safety net diagnosis, really.
No, it absolutely is. It definitely is. That was because some people that would meet the criteria type for EDS type 3 then did not meet the criteria for hypermobile EDS, which was the successful diagnosis. But they still get to keep their old diagnosis, if that makes sense. So you're absolutely correct about that. HSD being a provisional diagnosis, really, probably, but because it was known before as hypermobility syndrome or joint hypermobility syndrome, but then people discovered it and discovered EDS, but they don't really know exactly where one begins and the other ends, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at this. Yeah, I can see why. Okay, so joint instability.
Oh, can we talk about that one?
Sure.
I don't know too much about that, but I do know that there's go back to this.
I know about it a little bit, if I can.
Mast cell activation disorder is a malfunctioning of part of the immune system, where a type of immune cell, mast cells, release an excess of inflammatory chemicals such as histamine, causing allergy-like symptoms throughout the body. Mast cell dysregulation may be linked to some types of EDS.
The thing is that a lot of people who have EDS have MCAS and don't know about either, so they just assume they have allergies. So a lot of people who think they're allergic to certain things because they got an allergic reaction actually have mast cell activation syndrome because of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and not an allergy. And I, for example, do have been getting increased amount of allergies the older I've been getting, and I'm very young, only like in my 20s. But I became allergic to pineapple and to mango when I was a teenager, and I've also been allergic to kiwi and concentrated amount of tomato. But yeah, now I've been getting allergic reactions for things I'm not otherwise allergic to. Like like anything. Like it could be peanut butter. It could even be. I even get like these allergy-like symptoms when I'm in the shower. Right, like once I showered and my entire chest was completely filled with rashes. So I'm suspect I have that one too, because it's quite likely because I have been, but I don't know because the medical system takes like forever. So I'm waiting for me to get a proper diagnosis of anything as of now, because they haven't been able to get to me yet because they take forever. Does that make sense?
Oh, the medical system. Yeah, no. I mean, again, I do want to add that allergies tends to be a common thing in EDS. I know a few of the fellows ever in the school have a lot of like allergies to a bunch of things. And a wall on a honey badger radio is allergic to life itself. Like she has allergies to things like that.
But that could just be MCAS and not allergies.
In a way, yeah. Actually, for her, I think it might be. I think with her, it's more MCAS than allergies. With me, I think it's just more allergies because mine's mine's specifically latex, like latex in foods, latex in materials, things like that. But mine's latex related, but that's kind of it for me.
I mean, like,
I don't have too much of an issue otherwise with allergies to much of an extent, but
I was actually, fun fact, when I was cutting my hair, because I used to have long hair before, and I was actually cutting it down, the hairdresser, she basically told me that she'd been getting a lot of allergies recently, and I basically told her, you might have mast cell activation syndrome, because that was when I was first, no, because I didn't really knew that I could have EDS. Like, that was pretty new to me. I didn't really know what it was. So I found out a lot about it, and then I found out about that. So she got really lucky and knew about MCAS when I met her. because she probably got that, because it just means she have allergic symptoms, reactions to things you're otherwise not allergic to, which is a common comorbidity with EDS. So if somebody basically have autism, for example, and get a lot of allergic reactions and are very flexible, then it doesn't mean that they have EDS, but they should probably go and look into it if they have all. You know what I'm saying?
I went to a geneticist in San Francisco when I was about 16, and they concluded that it is definitely elegantous. They do have genetic tests for a lot of that stuff. I do recommend if you suspect to have this, definitely flag down your doctor. Try to see what you can do before testing. Because knowing you have something tends to make things a lot easier. It tends to kind of help clarify things quite a bit. And with myself, the development of my condition really kicked in when I was a teenager. I didn't have it a whole lot in terms of I didn't have a whole lot in terms of pain as a child. But by the time I became a teenager, I was in so much chronic joint pain and instability and just difficulty and all that stuff that you know I was trying to cope with pain essentially, and not being the wisest with it, but there you go. And although I knew people who were way harder than I did, I knew a teenager at one point that would have his arm just covered in fucking cuts and scratches and shit. And my back looks like I was flogged half to death, but those are actually stretch marks. Those are actual
Oh, by the way, you get stretch marks from EDS.
Yes. It's
Like I know a guy who's suspected to have EDS, and he basically his knees are covered with stretch marks, like all over the place. It's crazy.
I could try and show that.
Well, it's easy to show your back. I can show you my scars. No, should I show the scars in the meantime?
Yeah, if you want.
I mean, like a common thing is that you get scars. Like, okay, it's very hard to see here, but I can show my best. Okay.
Right here. You may have to sit back.
Holy fuck, dude. That's some.
They're all right here. They're all horizontal.
Yeah, I have horizontal stretch marks.
I mean, yeah, he actually has some right here. They can't really be seen, but most of the worst ones are right here. Specifically right here.
Okay. If anybody can see, this is a paper scar. This is a paper scar. Do you see? Yeah, that's also common. But the friend I have, he doesn't have. Well, I only know he has these stretch marks on his knees.
In terms of scar tissue, there's like, I don't know if you can see it, but there is a scratch right there.
Oh, here's another one, another scar. You basically get like an example is that some people basically get automatic scars. They get scars without any injury, and the ones you get from injury, like I showed earlier, this one, then they heal really poorly, and you have very thin skin afterwards.
I didn't know if this was worth being explicit about, but these are mild scars. Back when pain and everyone thought was depression, but mostly pain was kind of the normal thing in my life.
Yeah, I got those here too, but I don't think anybody can see. Oh yeah, you can see. Look here. I have there.
Well, our scar tissue tends to kind of bubble over.
Really? Because I have a scar here, and they told me it was healed perfectly, right? But it didn't, because I didn't know I had this problem.
It bubbled over. It's called a rollover scar. It's actually the proper name for it. Yeah, nails kind of have rollover scars too, which is strange.
I think a lot of normal people have it too.
Specifically, what's weird about your guys is because like it moves. Yeah, it might. It moves kind of still stretchy, much like the rest of your skin.
Like this.
Yeah, the scar almost moved.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of. It's scary to move it because it feels like my skin is kind of like. No, I know it's not, but it feels like it's gonna tear. By the way, does your skin tear open sometime?
Yes, I get skin tears all the time.
And does that bleed?
Actually, I think I have one on my neck or shoulder. I forget where I had one. I had one recently that I found. I think it was on the shoulder. Okay. What was that pop sound? Was that a button? No, the button's still there. Okay. All right. It was somewhere. I had a scar on my shoulder. I forget where it is. I could have sworn it was a. I had it just the other day. I could have sworn it was a shoulder. Yeah, it might be the shoulder. Weird. I could have sworn I had one on my shoulder, but now I can't find the damn thing.
We can definitely show the fact that you do have some skin lesions right here and there.
my chest tends to break out quite a bit.
Mine don't, but I get I have really easy bruising. Like, I can. Do you mind if I send you guys a picture to see which one should I send a picture of my bruised skin to? Okay, send it to her. But we can talk in the meantime. It takes a while for me to find the picture and send it.
Again, like a lot of scar tissue healing is going to be strained. A lot of bruising is going to be strained. A lot of with EDS in terms of women, they tend to have a lot of pregnancy complications. That tends to be more common. It's more common for them to have miscarriages, to have stillbirths. It's more common.
It basically has caused a lot of problems for everybody who has it. And it's very good to be aware of it, because if you're not, you can get into more danger. Yeah, I should. I send her a picture of my chest so she can see how easy bruisable my chest. This is just me for itching my chest. Yeah, it was just itching, and then I itched, and then that's basically what happened. Well, I didn't stretch. I basically just stretched like at least like really short, really little, and then this happens. Like, one we should mention is that we have very elastic skin. Like this.
My skin's hard to grab a hold of, actually.
I can do it like. I do have I can do it on my chest too, but I get bruises if I do that. But otherwise, I can do it on my belly. Wait. Oh fuck. The most recent time is always fun to me. It's just like. Oh, by the way, I could put my feet behind my neck when I was a teenager, but not anymore.
Yeah, I was a contortionist as a teenager. Mostly to like make people freak out. Like mostly to fuck with people. That was really why I did it.
Yeah, I did it because people in school told me to do it because I thought it was cool. I can do this.
I still kind of like. Yeah, you lock your hands like that. Yeah, that's a good sign. I used to do all sorts of like ventriloquism, bending arms, press to people. I used to do it all the time. I haven't done a lot of hypermobility in some 5 years because no more opiates and pain and
Oh yeah, should we go over to like my basically what happened before for me to find out? for me, the doctor suspected that I have EDS.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It basically started when I was like a teenager, right? That was because I get used random pains in my legs from walking, in joints or in bone because they had to carry my body, right? And then I used to ask friends for help because I couldn't do it. But it didn't happen often, just rarely. And then when we went to museums, I get extremely tired and I wanted to sit down all the time. But the other kids, they didn't, right? And the more older I get, the more things this happen. I want to go to museum with my parents. They didn't want to go because I couldn't put any weight on my leg, so I had to like wobble on like one leg the entire time. And usually when I get these pains, it usually then weeds off, and then when I get back home, it hurts so much I can't stand up, right? And then older I get, the worse it got. So when I was on a school trip with my school, I actually fell down when they had a demonstration of something uninteresting. But it was kind of interesting because I was in too much pain, so I couldn't really think. I was like, ow, ow, ow. So I fell down, and they said, you can go and sit and rest. So whenever you go somewhere, right, with like friends or with school or family, I kind of like always had to sit when the other people were doing stuff, and standing up would just hurt so much. So I was just very much stuck. Like I was at the place sitting, and then if I want to go somewhere, I had to like just run or really walk really fast and sit down again. And that just got worse all that I got, right? So this year when I went to a festival with friends, I actually ended up falling down 4 times in a week. And also whenever I did have this problem, I had to fall down, I had to sit down. I got so much pain that I had it didn't really get better from sitting. Just make the pain less, but still hurt. But if I stood up, it would hurt again, and it took like it just took forever for it to like get back to normal, right? So basically, like it really made the experience kind of. It was still fun, but it made the experience very painful too. And whenever I go to anything that involves going to malls, stuff like that, it just hurts so much. So I've been moving back to my parents, and I don't really go out that much because, well, I try to do it, but it hurts to do that. At least after like 15 minutes, start to hurt, but it can also hurt quicker, and also hurt. In rare occasions, it could take a little bit longer, but it's been getting worse forever. It's just been getting worse. And when I went to see a doctor, he basically said that like that your legs, right, just they're hypermobile, which means that they have to like put in more energy, right, and they aren't properly connected, right, which means that your bone and your ligaments and your muscle, right, they usually work together to keep the body up, but mine is there's some mismatch that doesn't work, which means that they have to work much harder to keep the body upright, which means that they can't do it for much time, and they get a lot of wear and tear for very minimal activities, and then
Another common thing is arthritis. That's another common thing with this disorder. Actually, I remember something I need to show. I can You can see I get splits in my ears. I get like splits right there.
it's hard to see what it is. I just have a bendy ears.
Yeah, I get splits and skin tears around the connectors of the ear.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, we did mention that earlier, skin tears. But I tend to get a lot of skin tears, like around the nose, the ears especially. A lot of skin tears there. It's kind of easy for me to scratch a hole open in my ears and behind my ears especially. It's very easy to damage my ears physically. It's very easy because again, your ears and your nose are mostly collagen. So with this disorder, and think of EDS as the collagen equivalent to brittle bone disease. Because brittle bone disease is
Calcium?
uh,
Is it to do with calcium? I'm not just guessing here.
yes, calcium. Yeah, brittle bone disease is your body doesn't produce calcium properly. It has a defect in calcium production. It's the same thing, but instead of calcium, it's collagen. And that's the only difference. But it's the same process. It's the same fuck-uppery, genetically speaking. It's the same damage. It's actually the same genetic chain. On the genetic code, they're like right next to each other. They're like a couple spaces away.
Oh, and that brings me back to the end of the story, and I was seeing a doctor and a physiotherapist who basically said that he suspected I have hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome or hypermobility spectrum disorder, but likely Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and possibly another subtype. And that's why I knew about it, and that's why, and that's basically where I'm at, and that's why I'm waiting for the. I was gonna get a referral because he couldn't send one because he's a physiotherapist. So therefore, the primary care facility, the general practitioner needs to send a referral for me so that I can get a proper evaluation to see if I have EDS or not. But what would you guess? Do you think I do have it on?
Yeah, no, I think you do. Yeah, I don't doubt it for a second. You match all the criteria. You had a lot of the same issues I've had growing up. To give you a short story, when I was about 5 or 6, I used to jump around the little playground gym thing in elementary that we had, and I would climb up the thing and then jump down. Now there's a pole where you're supposed to slide down on it. Well, I never could because my skin just like always burned and ripped and.
Oh my god, it happened to me too. I didn't even know that was a thing. So that happened to everybody.
Skin couldn't get good friction on.
Neither could mine. It was horrible. I hated it.
Yeah, so I couldn't slide down the pole, so I would just jump down from the ledge. And I did that a few times, and my bones were stable, and I landed properly, and I did it a few times. And then I did it the 4th or 5th time, and my knee buckled as I landed, and I just went flat on the ground. Like my knee buckled, like instead of landing, my knee buckled, and I did that. It just like collapsed.
Did your knee bend backwards or forward?
Forward.
Oh, that's good, because when I was in the jumping part with my nieces, I was jumping like normally, and then my knees bent backwards and I hurt myself.
Yeah.
I wonder why my knee was so fragile. Like,
Exactly. Yeah. So, as a child, we tend to get injured rather easily, especially when it has to do with stability, joint stability. And another thing, I have a. Oh, fuck, keep got it. I have a scar on my chin, right about here, so, and that's from around the same age. I tripped and face planted on a boulder. That was in the little playground park area. I face planted a boulder, and that's why I have a scar on my chin.
wow, that sounds painful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why I'm so tired. Yeah.
Oh, really? That explains a lot, because I'm so fucking tired all the time. Like,
I'm always exhausted too, like physically speaking.
actually, today I was so exhausted. Like, it's so annoying because I don't like to stand up and walk because it hurts after a while. I tend to sit down a lot, and because the cushioning you sit on like normal furnitures aren't really meant to sit in them for that long, that means my bum kind of hurts. So therefore, it can be like yesterday, my legs hurted, my bum was hurting, and I could only lay on my fucking flat on my stomach. It was so boring.
I'm very uncomfortable in most furniture. Furniture has to really be padded and fluffy and cushiony for me to actually be comfortable.
Though that makes sense, because if you were to have a body where everything were properly connected, right? The body could say it by itself, but because it doesn't do that, you need to have the furniture doing it for it. And if it doesn't, the body's just gonna collapse into the furniture, and then it's gonna causes things to go in a bad position, and it's gonna be painful because it's not good to be in that position. And normal people can't be in that position because their body's too connected, so they don't ever end up there. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Again, the stretching parts of your body are also supposed to be firm, so it keeps your body upright.
Yeah.
I learned this from my knee injury, because my knee went from the front of my leg to the side of my leg. It completely dislocated to the other side. Like I'm surprised I was able to get that fixed, and luckily I was able to get it pushed back into place. But it was weak, it was tender. I had to ice it for a couple weeks. Then I just had some more leg instability. I used a cane for a year or two afterwards. So I was about 17 or 18 or 16, 17 at the time when I injured my kneecap. And I remember having a cane around the age of 19 or 20. So, yeah. But yeah, here's a proper list of the comorbidities, and it is as long as the trees are tall. So,
Biggest one is like,
Never bet against Arkham. I like that one. Actually, a friend of mine, he said that Arkham fucked us royally, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
It was something like that. I don't know. I'm paraphrasing. Might have said it differently, but that's what I would have said it. That's what I got from his saying, if that makes sense.
You might have to explain Occam's razor to Elway.
Okay, Occam's razor is the saying that if you hear hoofbeats, think about zebras. No, think about horses, not zebras, because if you feel it, right, and you hear it, right, then it could more likely to be a horse than a zebra. But if you don't look at it and listen and see on the inside and the outside, right, then you can't see it's a zebra, right? So they say, well, you're more likely to see a horse. So you assume you see a horse, right? And don't assume you see a zebra, right? But the problem with that is that you do have zebras in the world, and if you assume that they're all zebras and try to ride a zebra, assuming it's a horse, then you're gonna fall down because you can't ride zebras like you can ride horses. Like if you try to lasso a zebra, it will dodge it because it's a little bit more flexible than the horse, right? And that's basically the saying why you call this disorder a zebra condition, because of this thing. And that's because in medicine they basically are told that you should not think about zebras and only about horses, which is a little bit backwards, because you can think about horses first and then zebras, but they said no, never think of the zebras, think about them as unicorns. But they're not unicorns, they're real. Does that make sense?
Yes. I knew the whole think of horses not zebras thing. I knew about that, but I didn't know what that was called.
yeah, that's actually the part that I didn't know. Like, I knew the entire saying and and everything. I just didn't know that's actually what that was called.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, and it's like, and I mean, we'll look through it, but like, just to show how old this thing is.
I might have to go through this on my own time and just like mark off half the boxes and just
Up to their disease.
yeah, scoliosis.
I should tell you that because
Oh yeah, gluten. This is the gluten-free booty dance.
All right, my mom is allergic to gluten, and my cousin is too. Oh, and my niece on the other side of the family, she dislocated her wrist all the time when she was a kid. So I know when I was like 12 or something, I was very close to dislocate my wrist all the time, but I never did it because I always make sure to stop it from happening. Oh, that's good to know. Wait, what?
So I just started reading this of like, unless you're one of the very rare few with vascular EDS or a more rare connective tissue disorder, you're probably not going to die any quicker than you were before you read this list. And I'm like,
Probably. Okay, good to know. Probably.
well, lovely to know.
Hooray! I'm immortal. Time to go plane traffic. I'm immortal.
Nailed we start because many.
Yeah.
Oh, we can start to have a chronic fatigue. I get tired all the time.
Yeah. I do too.
I think it's because the body need to put in more energy to keep itself upright and functioning, which means that it burns through energy much quicker, and it's bad at eating food too and digesting food, which means that you get tired.
Chronic pain of all kinds, including RST, CRPS. Arachnoiditis. That.
Okay, now I have to.
What the hell is that? When your spider legs hurt? What the fuck? Like. Arachnoiditis. A predominant symptom of arachnoiditis is chronic persistent pain in the lower back, lower limbs, or in severe cases throughout the entire body.
I got that. Oh my god, it's so annoying.
Yeah. Lol me.
Oh wow, we even have scans.
Oh, we even have scans.
Well, not scans, but like pictures.
Yeah.
Hey, pictures.
Yay.
Pictures help a lot. Does that have anything to do with autism?
Yeah.
Apparently, this is considered
You, you see.
your squiggles are messed up.
Yes, my squiggles are bored.
Is this why it feels like when I'm sitting down, I don't have a rest for my leg, and it's outward? It feels like my leg is like sliding inside. My bone is sliding inside my leg.
Throughout my life, I've had quite a few what I call them broken bone dreams. Yeah. There was. Another thing I have. Great, magical. Fuck, let's add it to the list.
So you tell me everything that's wrong with you.
We're gonna learn all the disorders I have. It's gonna be magical.
Penguin numbness or weakness in the legs, bizarre sensations such as insects crawling on the skin, water trickling down the leg, severe shooting pain, which some liken to an electric shock sensation, muscle cramps, spasms, uncontrollable twitching, bladder, bowel, or sexual dysfunction.
Okay, I'm not gonna comment on the last one because you fuckers don't need to know that.
Okay, Aortic disease.
Hey, will you? Why do you? You know what? Just for that.
Hey. I said it. Nobody knows what that is.
Right. Is that the curvature one? Because
Yes.
it's not even that bad.
If that was kind of a joke, I know it's not that.
Like
You just have the standard one.
Yes. Just, anyways, I'm gonna beat you with you know, bring back the patriarchy, beat your wife. You better love me.
I love you.
Really too. The sensation of water trickling down a limb, I've had that quite a few times. It's rare, but I do get on.
Okay, so you're probably the one that most likely has muscle cramps,
Yes.
twitching part, and severe, I'm assuming severe shooting pain.
Yeah.
Do you have any tickling numbness or weakness in your legs?
Sometimes, yeah.
Okay, so you may have this, I don't know. We're just going to go with, this seems likely.
Yeah. Add it to the list, Christopher.
He basically has things to do with and it basically is the one that's right there.
So,
That's the one that affects you. Yeah. So I know if I looked at one of the pictures, there's one of these three vertebrae.
I think one of my friends who suspect I have EDS had a herniated disc.
Ooh.
That sounds like a likely coincidence. What you guys think about that? Or likely cause?
I've heard of some of us getting slip discs, or now it's more common to get subluxations in joints. I sometimes feel my ribs like do that, where I'll feel a rib like lower into me more.
I can push in my ribs. Should I show? But like it's kind of weird. It basically is like it doesn't really show. I don't know if you can see.
It's somewhat visible.
Yeah.
It probably hurts to do so.
It's not very comfortable. I can do it, and it shows much more in real life, and it feels much more. But I don't do it that much because I'm worried that it won't hurt.
Actually, another thing to ask is okay, I don't think you have a birdcage chest, but Chris does.
Yeah, I have a birdcage.
But you can look at the image of my chest.
Yeah, I don't think he is quite birdcage.
No. The only way we'd actually be able to tell that is if you stand at the side and your chest will actually, you don't have it.
Okay, that's good to know because I kind of happy being at least normal in one place,
But
Yeah, I'm kind of a giant.
but if you're a giant and have a birdcage, you're a dinosaur.
Very easy to push in my ribs.
And also he has sensitivity.
Right there.
There's a bit of a deformity right there.
I do have a chest horn if you can see my ribs here. Look, this one is outwards. Do you see my... Oh god, no. Okay, but this is something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's flexible.
Yeah.
I think we showed that your ribs are stretchy.
Yeah, I think we showed some.
Your skin.
Some non-bone things.
You seem to have much more severe case than I do.
Severe case of what exactly?
Well, of the EDS.
Yeah, everyone tells me that, but I don't know if that's true or not. That might be
I basically can tell a very, very good saying to explain that if you want me to.
I suppose that would actually depend on what somebody's definition of severe would be. Because to me, Chris's is more moderate. And that's because I've seen much worse cases because of what I've researched and seen. He's definitely not got a mild case, but he's not as severe as some.
It's like moderate to severe. It's like in that niche. It's like that hole in between two round firm cheeks and like what?
It is like a butthole.
Yeah.
Fun fact is that we all began as assholes, and so did all humans.
That was a callback to a video from like 8 years ago, dude.
Anyway,
Congratulations, you are in the future. You stand here. All right.
Fuck, my lip cracks all the time. Sorry.
Yeah, try tightness in the lips, splitting right here.
Like at the connection of the mouth.
Ah, that explains it.
Hair splits and dry cracks in that area is actually also quite common.
Oh, we need to think about the palate. You have a high palate.
You can't really do it.
Okay, can you see now?
Is it the
Yeah.
his mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your mouth is so like goodness. Excuse me, your mouth.
Yeah, mine's also high up too. I can feel it.
Also, another very common thing with EDS, especially when you're born, is cleft palates and like cleft flavors. Possibly.
Yeah, my brother CJ was a stillbirth in '94, back before stillbirths were popular all of a sudden. Joan one. He had a cleft palate and a front foot.
Did he die?
Yeah, he was stillbirth. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I had a sister who was still burned before I was born in '94.
Happened to me as well.
His brother was most likely going to have EDS too, so.
Yeah, I remember the sister who was stillborn. She had like a smaller ear than the other.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, she died, unfortunately.
Yeah, kind of how stillbirths work.
Just to make the thing even more depressing, I also have a stillbirth sibling.
Yeah.
Mine's not because of your guys' problems, but other problems.
It's for something.
Yeah. That's actually really sad. It feels so sad for all the women had to go through that. It's like sounds like so traumatic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's it's natural for us to feel the plight of women. That is natural.
I mean, it's not just women. All female placentals feel bad if they have stillborn.
I mean, again, it's with this condition in particular, it causes so many other abnormalities because your collagen isn't producing the right peptides. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. It doesn't have the strength it's supposed to have. Collagen's supposed to be firm. It's supposed to be a firm, like semi-solid kind of.
It's supposed to be super glue, not jello.
Yeah, it's supposed to be more like glue and more like a firm plastic. But ours is more like
Rubber.
ballistic gelatin.
Yeah.
It's like more like ballistic gel. Because if you smack ballistic gel, it'll do this.
Mm.
Or if you throw a Glock at it, like it'll just jiggle. So.
Yeah, that is a good analogy. I know one other problem there is with EDS, and that is that you can actually have colder extremities.
That might be more hot, but
I have that problem. That's why I need to have like heat regulations on my arm all the time because I don't freeze. But I can be sweating on my torso because I have a shirt, and then freeze on my elbow. That's also very common apparently, which is it's so nice to know that the reason why my body has been fucked up forever is because of an actual problem and not just because I'm failing at something,
two things to mention. One, I don't know if this is a comorbidity, but I also have Tourette's, so maybe that's also connected to EDS.
I actually read about the guy who had EDS, Tourette's, and diabetes at the same time, which like a comorbid nightmare. And I was like, oh my god, that's horrible. Like I just didn't. Yeah, that was a little bit sad.
Another thing is flare-ups. I get flare-ups quite often. I'll get a tight muscle squeezing, crushing pain in the left side of the chest. That's actually
Hmm.
quite common. So, yeah. Oh god, hair loss.
No, is that a common occurrence? Please don't tell me it is.
It is, yeah.
Oh my god, my grandpa was bald when he was younger than I am now.
Okay, to be fair, since you both men, that's also going to be predetermined by other genetics.
Yeah.
But this is just me adding fuel to the fire.
Yes, basically, your EDS is just adding fuel to the fire of hair loss. If it's already in your genetics, it's going to end up happening. You seem to be quite lucky about it. Can you?
Big smoldering fire, destroying the scalps of every man in here to Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine is like part of the scenes here.
Yeah. Yours doesn't look too bad, Drew.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good because like the oldest there is actually no man in I think there's only one man in my family who's in his only one man who's in 30s who has a full head of hair. The rest of us are either bald or under 30. Both sides, by the way.
A perpetual case of dishes. Seriously, having to cook only whole, unprocessed, organic foods you tolerate, right? Mine are all consuming anyway. Jeez.
Oh, that's special. That's something this year, but I didn't see anything about Tourette's, so that's just it's just a special thing for you.
That's just me being freakish, abnormal, intruder.
Yes.
He's really unlucky. But by the way, if you said that EDS is more likely to be comorbid with autism and other disorders like ADHD, does that apply to every mental disorder? Because wouldn't they include Tourette's? Or is that not a mental disorder?
I heard that it's what's that word? It means your brain ain't working right. No, the other thing.
Neurodivergent?
Yeah, I read that neurodivergency is common with EDS, but I don't know which one specifically. Yeah, autism.
As well as everything else.
Yeah.
But isn't it kind of logic you can get anxiety and depression because you have EDS?
Well, yeah. I mean, I've had those issues a lot as a teenager.
I mean, if the body hurts, is always tired. Wouldn't you be sad?
Well, here's what's weird about anxiety and depression. They're symptoms, but we.
Well, there you go. That's.
Well, there is general anxiety disorder. There is major depressive disorder. It just depends on which one you might have more of.
Yeah, sure.
Just keep in mind, a lot of the stuff is in levels of severity. So if you have extreme anxiety, it's generalized anxiety disorder, or you can always have the special thing of social anxiety.
I mean, like, whenever I'm gonna have social circumstances, I usually feel ill before that.
I'll say for the record, I'll trust the DHMS or whatever it's called, the DSM, or I'll trust the DSM when degeneracy disorder becomes a thing for life.
Actually, I think there is already a disorder where, like,
there's this filthy fucking denigrates and
well, there is a disorder for like sex addiction.
Oh yeah, sex addiction.
That makes sense. But now I can say, you talk about degrees of severity. I do have a very good way of explaining that. It's difficult to rank a disorder, basically, at least EDS is like degree of severity like this. It's basically like it's different types of symptoms. They can be very bad, but very different. I'm like, can I go back to the zebra analogy, because I've heard a very good saying about this.
Yeah, sure.
Like the saying, but I didn't come up with this, just so everybody know. So I don't want people to pin it on me, if anybody here. That is that the saying goes that that two zebras have the different types of have different stripes, right? But they're both zebras, right? And by that meaning is that it's not to say one is have it worse than the other, it's to say that they're different, even though they have the same disorder. What I mean by that is that for me, like I think that you have it worse in me in many ways, but I have like really, really difficult with walking. And I don't know if you have that in particular.
I have more difficulty with standing still than walking.
Well, for me, both is really difficult, right? And I basically fall down a lot of the time. Like, can you stand up for like 10 minutes or go walk, take a 10-minute walk?
I can do 10-minute walks just fine, but I can't stand up still for 10 minutes. Not without my blood pooling to my hands and feet and me possibly collapsing.
Yeah, that's the same. I can do it, right? But it hurts after a while. But even when if I like go out, basically like I get really tired very quickly and I don't really recover, which means that I can't do much anything that requires me to be active, like going to school, going to a job, going to a mall, going to a festival, going to a friend's house. If I'm gonna go, it's gonna hurt a lot, and I collapse a lot. So like me, I don't really get the problem from walking from or standing up from the POTS problem. It's just that because the legs aren't properly connected, it feels like they kind of like they get really, really fatigued very quickly, and they get very much pressure very quickly, which means that the ligaments kind of tear. Can I?
For you in particular, is it possible that your legs are at least minorly dislocated, or they're not fully like located together? Like there's a slight dislocation or a subluxation that has happened for 10 plus years or whatever. Like, and I say this because I've got a friend who has had a lot of pain in his left shoulder and weakness in his left arm for 10 years. And and he just found out that his arm's been dislocated for 10 years. It's not fully, it's not attached properly. It's not being located. It's been there for 10 years. Yeah, so, he just had that, like, damage in his arm. So he's actually trying to get his arm relocated, basically. So, and again, he had weakness, instability, and pain in his shoulder arm. Actually, his might have been 3 to 5 years, but he had a friend who had it.
Yeah, I don't have it constantly. I just have it when I stand up and walk for long. And when I have done it, usually if I go out and I get in pain and then the pain goes away after later, not when I stand up, when I'm resting. And then I usually get a lot of pain. Whoa! I can't even do that. Like my leg, actually my knees are the most stable parts of the leg, but they need to but they basically, my knees have to carry the entire leg, which means that my knees get fatigued very quickly. Does that make sense?
Yes. So for me, this kneecap, and it always kind of jumps on the side, but this kneecap was right here.
All the time?
It went from here to here.
Fuck
That's
that.
where it was when I dislocated my knee.
That sounds that's just no. That's not.
That's how badly it was dislocated. I completely slipped it out all the way to the side of my leg.
That is horribly painful. I used to just. Do you mind if I show something with my joint? You see this little ligament here. This one is way more outstanding than for other people. right? And therefore, and I think that's an EDS thing because they're not properly attached, which means that that they tear and wear a lot more from walking than for other people. And for me, because my legs are too, I don't think that they're dislocated. I just think that they are never there is no like attached state. They're just like always loose. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's also possible. Again, I'm spitballing on that one, but it's entirely possible that you just don't have strong ligaments or your bindings are collapsed around the joints. I was kind of lucky as a kid because I studied a lot of like martial arts and I practiced with different weapons, a lot of melee kind of stuff. I was that kind of autistic kid, and I was very active. And there was a point where I could run a 6-minute mile when I was young and full of opiates. I could run a 6-minute mile.
I could run very fast when I was a kid.
Yeah, but I actually was trying to get to track, but they wouldn't let me because slavery can't. Because in California, homework is 80% of your grade.
That sounds really bad. Sorry.
At that point, it's not even about learning; it's about obedience.
Well, it's fucking California. It's the worst place in the universe.
Yeah, that's all it is. Will you do bitch work? Will you be an obedient serf and do bitch work?
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all they're teaching in California.
Makes sense.
Right? They're teaching, are you a serf? They're not teaching, are you capable of possessing knowledge? Are you capable of learning? Because I aced every test I ever took the entire time I was in high school. Every single test. I aced all of them. I actually was one of 6 students in the entire school district to have a perfect score on all 3 standardized tests.
That's pretty cool.
And I had the worst grades out of all.
Wow.
6.
Yeah, to me,
the other 5 were all overachievers. They were all like perfect grades, or else their parents would beat them, or whatever they did, and all this other stuff. So, and I had horrible abysmal grades because I didn't do homework because my father's fighting for his fucking country. So I'm going to spend time with him. Fuck you.
So, yeah, like education focusing on homework. It's not. That's really shitty education, right? It's absolute garbage to me. But to me, education here, like in Europe, right? It's really, they have really high demands, but living in Europe past the age of 18 is like really boring in my opinion, depending on where in Europe, to be honest. But at least where I live, it's really boring. But the problem, because of the education has so high demands, that means that getting a grade takes like forever, and it's almost impossible. Because if you have autism, it's really hard to get a grade, right? I can have an IQ of like really high because I had that when I was diagnosed with autism. But it didn't really matter because if you can't focus enough on the school, right, or if you can not do everything in time, then you don't get the good grades. Like, and it's just like it's really bad because like I was gonna take a test, right? Like not for school, for like in order to get into college, right? But you couldn't eat anything, and because I have so hard time eating food, I couldn't eat enough before the test, and I can't be without food for that long, which means at half past the test, I was getting like straight A's until I got hungry, and I got like an F, which means that the end test was really bad. Every time I tried to do it, for the only reason that I got hungry, right? And also like I can't focus for long. So if I like sit with a test, half the time it's gonna be me resting between between typing or writing, because I can't just write all the time. I need to rest because I get tired. But other kids don't get tired. They can use the entire test for test taking. I get to use like half the time for test taking because the rest is resting.
I had a lot of snacks. Like I would bring to school because I had hypoglycemia as a child.
Had what?
Hypoglycemia, low blood sugar.
Oh.
It's chronic low blood sugar. Yeah. I had tested my blood sugar fasting, and at one point it was like 970 or 65. It was low. But your blood sugar should be about 100. Fasting blood sugar 90 to 100, about what it should be. Mine was like 30 points less than that. And at one point, I was in the hospital for chest pains, and my heart rate dropped to about 45 beats per minute. And to a point where I was passing in and out of being awake. Like I was like falling asleep mid-sentence because my heart rate was so low.
That is scary.
That's another thing with POTS is that it can lower your heart rate. It can. I mean, I don't even know what happened to me that day. My girlfriend at the time couldn't feel my pulse. I like passed out. We were sitting down, and she couldn't feel my pulse. So, but then I snapped to and came back, and it was fine. But they told me what it was. I can't remember it for the life of me. It's basically when your heart rate lowers to where it's not detectable, but it's still beating. It's not detectable, but it's still you still have blood flow. It's just you can't really detect it because it's so low.
By the way, do you mind continue chatting about this while I go and get something? I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
But keep talking about the topic so that the recording goes good.
Yes.
And now I'm back. Sorry for that. I had to get something to drink.
I'm not advocating. I'm just, you will. No. I'm not saying, hey, try this drug, kids at home. That's not what I'm saying. All I said was that's what doctors will want to give you. That's all I said.
Then they need to be vocal and don't drive them towards herbs first.
Yeah.
And if it's too severe for that,
Yeah.
then do it.
I would recommend trying lighter things first. You know, herbs like, well, I take wild lettuce, gabapentin for the pain, and duloxetine, which also helps with pain, and also has to do with the brain, I guess. And the spiridone, which helps with Tourette's, and also seems to control a lot of my autistic symptoms.
Well, that's good. Can we talk about the symptom about bendy legs?
Oh yeah. Jeez. I stopped doing contortionism in my legs since my kneecap went over here.
Yeah.
Like I stopped completely bending my legs in weird positions ever since then.
No, I definitely get that, but I can show what I usually can do with my feet. Wait. Don't share. Let's get in the way. Okay, now you can see my feet.
Oh yeah. I used to do stuff like that all the time. Yeah. The literal crab walk. Yeah.
The heels are like in front of the body.
Yeah. No, I don't recommend you do this, but I used to do that with the feet, but I put my knees together and bend forward. I don't recommend doing that.
I can't touch the ground.
Yeah.
Which is weird. I should be able to do it, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can like do.
What?
I can do this though.
Oh yeah. I used to be able to do it too. Yeah. You can kick yourself in the chest with the bottom part of your throat. As a youngin.
I actually remember that when I was like in school, and I told the gym teacher that I once kicked myself in the ball sack, and then she started laughing for like 20 minutes straight. It was like so funny because she couldn't stop having in her class. She was like, sorry, and she just kept laughing like forever. She was like, and then we were like, yeah, you continue. Like, and then she was just laying there and couldn't. So she was like, we were sitting there, and she was like, tried to stop laughing, but she couldn't stop. You know when you have a laugh attack and you can't stop laughing no matter what. And she had it for like 20 minutes straight. She just like kept. So that was like so funny, and she couldn't stop. And she just saw it like every other second. It was really funny, actually.
There was. I used to sit in these chairs where I had to sit like this just to be comfortable. Like,
yeah.
There were chairs where I had to actually like sit with my legs up like this just to be comfortable. There were chairs like that in some places that I've been to. So.
Oh yeah, for tall guys, chairs are never comfortable, and neither for skinny guys. Especially not if you're EDS too, because that's like the worst of everything.
Yeah, God. There ain't shit made for giant ents anymore. There's
Lucky I'm not that big.
If I was as wide as I am tall, they would have to build me a special plane. Okay, like.
But it's kind of good to be skinny if you're tall, because otherwise you'd be astronomical.
Yeah, it changes the population. Yeah. Also, in terms of body fat, for males, excessive body fat tends to compact the genitalia and make it more, compact and inward. But for females, excessive body fat does the exact opposite. So I don't know how that works, but here we are in the future.
But then we can go on with the other issues with EDS, which is the dick.
Well, yeah, we could talk about the fertility issues.
I was mainly thinking about the pain issue.
Oh, the pain. Yeah. Genital pain is another fun little side effect there. Random testicle pains, random pains in genital region.
I hate when I get that.
For women that can get random pains inside the vulva, inside parts of the vulva. Even I have heard of some women getting pains like near the actual pleasure organs as well with EDS. So, because the female reproductive system has, I know, the female one has 4 to 5 pleasure spots, 6 if you get creative, and the what? And the male reproductive system has like 2 pleasure spots, and that's the testicles and the frenulum, and that's it. And sometimes not even the testicles. It's either the testicles or the glands and the frenulum. What?
Oh, and the butthole.
What?
Also in the butthole.
Well, I mean that does well. True, but most men refuse to go near the poisonous death cave.
Why? I never get that. But nobody should be forced to do anything sexual because they'll be raped. But like, I don't get why. It's just weird to me. It's like, why don't you want to have your own body and enjoy it? That's just what I'm thinking. It only matters with who and when.
Okay. The genitals for both genders is basically a waste processing recreational center.
Yeah.
Do with that information as you will.
Well, absolutely.
Waste processing recreation plant. Babe, he wanted to talk about this.
Yeah, we need to talk about why my dick hurts. Because I get like my balls, like testicles and the vas actually hurt a lot sometimes after ejaculation, and if I do it more frequent, it hurts more, and that's painful as fuck. I hate that. I used to sit there with like ball pain for like an hour. It's really annoying. I hate that. Is that an EDS thing or just like me being unlucky thing?
Yeah. I mean, actually, breaking the penis is easier with EDS.
Oh, I don't break it. I just hurt in the balls.
Yeah. Testicle pain is also more common. And for some, even prostate pain can happen.
Oh, fuck no.
I know. for women who are unaware, the prostate is, only Satan would put the male G spot in the butthole, for one.
No, that's awesome. I mean, like, that just means you have more things to do if your dick hurts.
Well, one way to look at it. But
it's the best, most optimistic way to look at it, and that's the right way, in my opinion.
That is the silver lining, I suppose. But again, waste production center.
Yeah, that's a little bit rad because you get dirty. It's annoying.
Yeah. Oh, I almost choked on that. Yeah, no. Anyways.
Wait, did we burp at the same time?
Yeah, sometimes I'll burp and swallow at the same time.
No, we burped at the same time.
Oh, we did. Okay.
That was fucking amazing. That's why this stream is gonna stay up forever.
Yeah, I just again, another problem tends to be just the entire neck system, because you breathe through a different tube and you eat through a different tube, and the space in between those tubes tends to be really strange for us.
Oh no!
You tend to get this weird kind of like trickle feeling in between those tubes. I actually get it quite frequently, especially when I breathe before eating or too close, and then I have this weird like tingle in between the tubes. So yeah, sometimes well, you have 2 tubes going down your face hole, but just any kind of connector, like the armpits where it connects this part of the arm to the ribs, right? That is, yeah. See, that tends to can have some pain, discomfort, tearing, ripping. Another, God, do I know this word? Is it paracellum? Is that the word?
It sounds like it.
It's the region, and this is for female EDSers specifically.
Oh God, that
It's
must be
the
terrible.
region in between the vagina and the anus. It's the region in between there. They can actually get tearing and damage in that area.
Oh God, poor lassies.
Yeah, no, they're more likely to get damage in that area. Again, with EDS, you want. Well, males can do it too, but you don't see it. Yeah, you don't see it as severely because.
I mean, like, the balls are kind of like it's a lot of skin that kind of protects that from happening.
Yes, a lot of the tissue around there tends to protect it.
Not to mention also for male and female, you can also have pelvic floor falling out.
Yeah, your pelvic floor can fall
I think
out.
that happened to me.
Yeah, you can have
And the two other regions, whether you're male or female, can also fall out.
Yeah.
Does that mean parts of your intestines can fall into your ball sack?
That would be a hernia.
Yeah, that's it.
And that would be a hernia. I have
somebody with that.
Yeah, I have I have a hiatal hernia, which means mine's like up here. It's not down here. It's up here. Mine is where
the hiatal hernia is basically the part where the esophagus meets the diaphragm.
Yeah.
And it's where the top of the stomach is basically bulging up above a little bit.
Yes.
Above the diaphragm.
I saw a video of female EDSer who had that herniated.
A lot of common hernias happen usually in the belly button.
Yeah.
Hiatals happen about a little higher up.
Right.
And then I don't remember what the other one's called, but
the pelvic.
Technically, my father had that one. And
yeah, the pelvic one is when your intestines fall into your pelvis. Like there's a muscle.
The pelvic floor.
It might be the pelvic floor. There's a muscle that holds up the intestines, and if that muscle gets damaged or pulled or strained or whatever, it can cause the intestines, which are supposed to be up here, to do this, and it drops into your pelvis. So that's that's a pelvic hernia, but that's the one most people have heard about.
It does seem to be more common in men.
Yeah, that seems to be more common in men.
I think it's because like having like a ball sack is more of a recent biological phenomenon than having like a uterus.
I can see that.
And that's the reason why it's like more like a mutation that caused that in the species that have that. I think it's the species of the group are called something like Borosseria, and we are part of that, and that's why we have ball sacks, which means that it's a little bit newer construction compared to like older parts of the body. Like uterus, it's not that new, right?
I will say this: probably why men are more susceptible to pelvic hernia than females is because women have the entire uterine system holding all that stuff up.
Oh, that too.
It kind of it's like a safety net. It keeps it in place.
Oh, something I can tell you about EDS is that I don't know if this is an EDS thing, but I can always put my ball sacks, my testicles inside my body and then out again.
Being able to retract the testes, normal people can do that, but
I assumed they could. I just didn't know if they could or not.
We can probably do it more, I guess. I've done it before, but I tend not to. Like, you can retract them, but there's two ways to retract them. There's one way to do it with your lower intestines and your diaphragm, and there's a way to do it manually.
Well, I've sure done both.
Holy shit. It was 7-pound garlic chili. Coming right up, folks. I have 109 dishes, and they're all beans.
That sounds foodie.
Look, if you made 109 dishes beans, you're not allowed to cook anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Fuck's sake.
Rule.
There should be a law.
You have 109 different meals, and they're all bean related.
There is probably 109 bean recipes.
Yeah.
They're all different.
Yeah.
But the sex point.
Yeah. See, when I got kicked out of my 109th bar, wrong topic. Yeah. No.
Yeah, I agree. It's just the wrong topic.
Yeah.
But what?
Okay, look, I'm autistic. He's autistic. You're fucking autistic.
We're spurging out.
We go off on weird, like abnormal malaise, and then we spin it around like a petri dish of maple syrup and other various beans.
Yep, that sounds about it.
Hey, oh no, I'm being stolen. Oh. Hey, will you not like me, you asshole? You know what? I'm gonna get you. You're gonna spousal abuse, yeah.
Spousal abuse.
This didn't work.
It didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work.
Do you want me to? This is not going to work out in your favor.
I don't care. Just love me. Oh God. There we go. Oh, hey, cat. Sorry.
Yeah, the cat's over there.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I share the video in the Honey Badger server?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, you said, I felt like I should ask you before.
Actually, hold on. I need to check something. We have a knock at the door. Let me mute it.
Well, while you do that, I can talk a little bit about my issues I have, if that's fine.
I'll go for it.
Okay, so basically what I have a problem with, that is really annoying, because if I do some, well, action that ends in ejaculation, right? Doesn't just hurt in the ballsack or around them, the testicles, right? It also hurts because I tend to tear in the skin. You get like a little tear. And that's annoying because that hurts. Like, that's not fun. That's painful. So yeah, that's going on with me. So I decided I should probably share that. But the good part is that if your skin is very stretchy, they include all skin of your body, even that skin. So that's awesome. I hope everybody hear that, because that was good to know.
Yeah.
I was just asking for something that was shared on.
Yeah, we'll probably try and share this around. I gotta figure out the damn title I'm gonna come up with for this.
I call it a connective stream.
I like that. See, I know how to milk the algorithm in terms of YouTube, like clickbaity titles. Like every third video is, this game is collectively broke, and is like, just for every third game review you make, like this entire industry is collectively destroyed and bankrupt. And like, you make sure to use the word bankrupt in bright red letters, or else no one will ever watch your shit ever.
Yeah, but I don't really care if you watch the videos. I just want to post videos on the internet and see if people like it. They like it. Otherwise, they don't. It's just for fun.
Yeah, that's probably right. My folks sent us a Christmas package. Oh, that's cool. Oh wow. I want to show that. This is like Americana for Christmas.
Oh my god, it totally is, dude. What the fuck, man?
This is Americana for Christmas. Like, neighbor same time. Oh wow. actually one of the cool things in the Saints Row reboot. It's actually a lot.
Sorry,
of cool
headphone
things.
user.
Yeah, sorry, headphone users.
Wait, what are you doing now?
Yeah, she's trying to look at something. Yeah, one of the Christmas packs, the free Christmas packs, is what? It's got the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, the skinny one. That's the
All
you
I can
get
see
it.
is basically wound armor.
Oh, okay.
And I mean wound armor.
Okay.
I mean,
No kidding. That's my mother's old statue. Yeah, that used to be hers. Yeah, that was her old statue. She gave it to me.
I do not know.
But I can tell about something annoying that happened to me when I was a kid. Because it's kind of relevant to the stream.
This sort of thing.
Strange. You know what I've noticed? They're giving me a lot of the things that they've had like 10 plus years ago. It's just something they can do. Yeah,
I mean, do we want to show it? But
I mean,
she is technically covered.
yeah, no, I guess it's loot. It's like battle armor loot. It's not.
I know, but
Yeah, it's not like sexual loot. But like the butt count. It's
like-
butt.
actually, the thing is, I may end up like painting it. Well, painting that, I should say, and maybe like painting this to be a little thicker. Or something.
Yeah, you can touch it up. That's fine.
Do you want to show it or not?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah. This is an old statuette my mother had 10 plus years ago.
That's pretty beautiful. I like that one. That's pretty.
I mean, I don't think of it as too strange. I mean, it's more like the gothic.
Okay, I mean, it's strange for your parents.
Well, I don't think it is because I know my mother very well.
Sorry, for users that
Yeah, rip it. Oh, nice.
Should we not continue now?
So this was the EDS stream, and now it's the Christmas unboxing stream.
Yeah,
Yeah, like,
but there's also a third thing.
oh yeah, it'll morph this third thing.
Well, it's good to have some pause with, talking about shield stuff,
My folks know that we're gone. Oh wow. This is the.
It kind of shows.
It kind of shows a little bit.
Like that.
That's pretty cool.
Wait, what did you get? We need to see what you get so we can.
A puzzle piece thing. An old statuette my mother had 10 plus years ago, and a Christmas mug. For Christmas related Christmasness.
But shouldn't be like, I don't know, open those when it's actually Christmas.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, that's fine.
I would actually like to have a.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't really on a fault line, so.
Oh yeah, we're
can
not
have shadows.
The only thing that would attack us is maybe, and I do mean maybe a tornado.
I will say this for the record: you're not legally allowed to have. You're not legally allowed to have shelves on in California. You're not legally allowed to because it's got legislation.
No, California is like many European countries. They ban everything fun.
No, I'm joking, but
I was like,
yeah,
you being serious?
I'm joking, but only slightly. Yeah?
I basically like to say this: like California is like the European Union. They want to ban everything that is fun and make life
Yeah, they want to
meaning.
ban everything and just pretend it works. Yeah.
No, they only want to bad things that are fun. Cat is cute. So I'm just looking at my phone all the time, but I'm listening to everything people say.
Actually, let me show Nick properly. Look at how long this boy is. That's a mustache right there. That's a man's mustache.
He's like, what the fuck is going on?
He's like, Father, what are you doing? That's my entire chest cage.
That's how broad-chested you are. That's pretty nice, to be honest.
Yeah, I could potentially like
Maybe just put it in the cage.
place this in the bathroom as a decoration until we actually get like a proper shelf so I can actually put stuff up there for decorations.
Now that we've gone so far afield from normal,
Is this actually even like friendly manufactured?
I don't know. She never told. Just do something.
True.
Like that.
Okay. Because she has shit on her. I'm sorry.
It's the fantasy stuff.
You know, I have at least give a boots. Boots would have at least made it look better.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, somebody could literally go.
Yeah. Ass armor. You need
Literally,
ass
somebody
armor
could
to
literally
survive.
jab her in the ass with an arrow.
You
or a
need
sword.
You need ass armor
Literally.
to survive this war.
That is true indeed.
True indeed. Yes, ass armor.
Actually, what would actually make it better is that like a corset thing.
Yeah.
Press. I know it's supposed to show all tattoos. I think it's nice.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, we got so far afield. Anyways, so
Yeah.
again, a lot of comorbidities, a lot of common issues with this condition.
Oh,
Honestly, one piece of advice I need to give is remember that pain will hit you differently. Also, if you're autistic, you perceive pain differently.
usually more intensely.
Yeah, and your pain isn't going to kick in for a couple hours.
That makes so much sense because sometimes I'm walking, my leg feels numb after pain, and then the pain hits me when I lay down or sit down when I'm back in my home, and then I can't get up.
That happens to me all the time. I have a habit of overexerting myself because I don't feel pain while I'm doing it, so I just do it, and then it all hits me like a ton of bricks 20, 30 minutes later. So that's very common. That happens to us a lot. So keep that in mind. If you're going to try to be physical and get stuff done, you're going to need to A, deal with fatigue, which is another common thing, and B, you're going to need to attempt to pace yourself.
Yeah.
Which isn't easy if you grew up with my background. It's not easy at all. My background is very, we got shit to do, get it done. It's very much my background.
Well, I'm not like that at all, so I guess it's easy for me. But I do have issue with doing a lot of stuff because, like, whenever I was gonna cook food or clean my room when I was living alone, I couldn't stand up for long enough to do it because my leg would just hurt so much I had to sit down.
I can't stand long enough to do dishes.
Neither can I.
Stand long enough for that. Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
Specifically sit down.
Yeah. It's better to sit down with this condition
Yeah.
than to sit down. But me, for example, I have a lot of issues with the muscle in my back. So sitting up like this, you can only do for so long. I can't do it very long. Yes. Yeah.
Is it like a common thing that you have a problem with your back muscles?
Yeah.
I know there's ways to do that. Basically, I have to buy glue and a
Yeah.
fabric sheet to.
Let's unlock the glue. I've got this split in my ear and it's bothering me.
Yeah, that's not very.
I don't know if I can show it, but like.
I got those all the time when I was a kid. Is that like a thing or something?
Yeah, that's another thing.
Oh my god.
Where our collagen connects, it likes to tear an awful lot. It's more likely to tear, to split, to rip open. Now, the difference between a skin tear and a cut. A skin tear will have little bits of skin in the wound sticking up. A cut will be a open, like.
Yeah.
Well, the way I
You can see into it.
it to me was that it's a piece of skin that's basically separated beneath the top layer.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah. Also, I have this.
Basically, either the very bottom of your layers of skin, I forget all the names of them, but it's that either the bottom or the second or the two bottom layers of your skin basically separate and kind of like has like a. It's like the top layer is the only covering, and they hurt like crazy.
Yeah. Now, half the time, you won't even notice. After a while, you won't even notice the pain of a skin tear. You'll just notice. You'll just be feeling around and go, "Huh, that's a large scratch." And then you look at it and you're like, "Okay, that's a skin tear because there's little skin bits in between it." Yeah. A little bit cool.
Oh, I can actually have a very good example of I had this skin tear, right? Here, you see, you see this ear. I never had a skin tear here, right? But I had it here in this ear, right? And that's the reason why the ear here is rounder and this ear is more straighter because it's tore up, and that's why this is like opened up. Can you see the difference?
Yeah, I see the difference. It's actually kind of noticeable.
Exactly, and that happened because I got a tear here, and I actually had tears above, all the way back on my ear.
Yeah.
When I was a kid.
I mostly get them at the very bottom.
Yeah, I had that too.
Mostly where I get mine. But yeah,
I actually got them here, inside here, like there.
I get them in the ears. Again, ears are collagen. Ears and nose are mostly collagen.
That's why my nose tube took like forever to heal.
Yeah, it's mostly collagen. So having a disorder where your collagen has its pants on backwards tends to cause some issues around the ears and nose. Also, the eyes, the tear ducts can get issues. The back of the eye can get issues. You can have a slipped lens. Your lenses can slip. Your parts of the eye can just fall out of place because fuck it, gravity.
Because it's not connected well to the rest of the body, like all the other parts of the body.
It's not connected as it should be. Correct. Yeah, the sinuses can be damaged. All sorts of things can be damaged. It is one of those disorders where it's all the above. You will have a lot of comorbidities and a lot of things wrong with you. That is normal. That is to be expected. This condition is different yet same in most aspects as osteogenesis imperfecta,
which is brittle bone disease.
Exactly. Brittle bone disease is your calcium is retarded. EBS is your collagen has its pants on backwards. So it's also retarded. So there you go. It's it is they're in the same boat. They are sister disorders. They actually I showed it on screen earlier. They affect one affects the COI1 gene and the other affects the COI2 gene.
But aren't different types of EDS affected by different genes?
Yes.
And everyone is known besides hypermobile EDS.
Yeah, there's a bunch of others besides hypermobility. That most common one. The most common is hypermobility. We suspected for a long time I had two types.
Whoa. Which are
which can happen, but really special roll of genetic dice there. Both parents have to be a carrier for a different type. And we think my mother is more carrier for the one that has to do with like like blood flow, blood pressure, that kind of stuff.
Cardiovascular.
Well, not cardiovascular, because that's the veins itself.
Oh.
Vascular EDS is specifically the veins and arteries and tissue.
But I read that the cardiovascular and the vascular were different.
Yeah. The cardio one, the one that affects the heart specifically, is different than the one that affects the veins and the arteries throughout the body.
Right, makes sense.
And the one that affects the veins and the arteries throughout the body is much more likely to drop you into an early tomb than any other sort of EDS combined.
Absolutely. That's one is super dangerous.
Yeah, that one you can just again in that one your veins and your arteries are what's missing all of its peptides and proteins and shit. So you can have a bleed in the brain randomly just because.
I think it was a teen. I read about like a teenage boy who basically had like a rupture in his like spine, but he survived. But he knew, because he knew about it. He had that. That was like a little bit scary.
Actually, I have a friend who's an ent like myself, and he had a aortic dissection and fucking survived.
Oh boy.
He beat death. He ascended to the holy throne.
He's immortal. Or he's an undead.
Yeah, Darth specifically. You probably know him from Direhawks. That's why he was in Direhawks for Kill's Age. Because
He's more visible now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yours is more visible. But I can see mine. It's like.
Just crazy, dude.
Yeah, hypermobile. Yeah, I mean, Ailes is really straight. Like you see this one, tilt foot now. It's not. Okay, you see how this is straight. Like it's not the it's hers is straight. Mine bends downwards. So yeah, Ailes knees were weird.
It's actually kind of funny because when she's the one with normal joints, but her joints look different to us. That means that she looks like she's a strange one. Because when everybody is different, besides one person, they become different.
I mean, Ailes just built like a tank, so I guess that's the strange thing.
No, the strange thing is that she's normal. Because if everybody is weird besides one person, being normal becomes strange.
Actually, yeah.
That's what I mean. Sorry. I should have been more clear. She likes to build a muscle because spite. Like I don't know what it is, but Elle can build muscle out of spite. It's kind of impressive, actually. Yeah, it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm suck at building muscle, but the physiotherapist said I should build muscle around my joints so that I can to do it better. But
for me to use like a small amount of creatine and just do simple workouts daily. Don't wear yourself out. Just do it for 5 minutes. That's as long as I think anybody that says EDS should go.
Yeah, I've been exercising daily for 5 or so days, and I have to take a break today because all of the activity I've done in the last 5 days is now hitting me at once.
Oh fuck!
All that fatigue and all that build up, all that stretching and all that other stuff is causing me to feel it by the bucket load, now. So again, you'll need to take breaks in between. EDS needs to be fully helped through the
life.
What's that called? What's that system called where you get people money? What's that called? Yeah, the government aid, but welfare. The kind of welfare, government aid, system aid, all that stuff needs to recognize Ehlers-Danlos as a official disability.
Oh.
Wait, they don't do that already?
That it's the fact that your parasympathetic nervous system is like always constantly trying to help you, and you're never. And the purpose of relieving the pain is to be in the sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah, the parasympathetic nervous system is always in high gear because you're in pain, so it's trying to ameliorate that. And people normally switch from parasympathetic to sympathetic. They switch from one to the other when they rest and calm down. We don't really do that because the first one's always on fire, so the second one needs special fun time things like the demon drink and the demon leaf and the other demon leaf. And the third demon leaf, and the demon leaf from Brazil, and the demon leaf from anyway. Colombian.
But that's as far as you go.
And Colombian wife beating powder.
No, you don't go that. Just chew the leaf.
Chew the leaves, live in the pot. Choose the leaves. Be pain free. I demand you. I am your master. I am the master of this plane.
You are the master of autism.
Yeah, I am the master autist. If life is noticing things, then I am the master autist.
Like, this must be the most autistic like video clips that have been recorded thus far.
Yes, all of my video, every video on my channel is more autistic than the next. Like it's like each one is more autistic than the one before.
We should like rank all your videos about the level of autism.
Ranking my videos on levels of autism. Yeah, that.
I should actually take that bingo card thing.
Yeah.
Watch all your videos and have tally marks.
Yeah, I have tally marks on my videos. That's funny.
Except you have to like take out certain, explicit, things that you use like the N word.
You mean the word that no one has ever said ever?
Yes, necrophilia. Anyway.
Yes, necrophilia. Yeah. Back in Latin more offensive than boning your dead grandmother? How? As far as N words go.
Okay.
Yeah. Hello, autism. We're back on the tangent train. Vroom, vroom, motherfucker.
This is actually kind of funny, right? Because I only know another guy who is very strongly suspected EDS because he has even more science than I do. And we go on tangent all the time. We can't keep a conversation for more than 2 minutes. We still can talk for like an hour.
Again, when you get two autists in a room together, you create the magic equivalent of noticing superpowers that would make the sun go, "What? How dare you? I'm offended and blasphemed, and I don't understand the worlds and the realm." So.
It's like we live and look autistic. You just look at our faces.
Yeah, I know.
I can't look in your eye that long, to be honest.
Yeah.
Shocking, I know. But thankfully, my friend has not been diagnosed with autism, so. But,
So this is my side profile for no particular reason.
That's the reason. Here's mine.
For totally no physiognomic. Oh yeah.
No, that's actually true because almost everything. Wait, I don't know if this.
Yeah, you can like relocate your neck.
Wait, is that relocate? Can't everybody do that?
I can kind of, but not to that severity. I do kind of have kyphosis a little bit, so I have a slight bump on my back.
Wait, please don't tell me that the reason I can do this is because EDS too.
It depends on how you're standing.
Yeah.
Because most of the time you can't stand up straight, so it looks so you look like a hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, a little bit. Slight kyphosis.
Slight.
But standing up is difficult, especially when my back is too bendy. Then how am I supposed to stand? I can't go this. Oh my god! Can I tell you something really annoying that happened to me? This is super annoying. Can I tell you what happened? I was lying in bed in my back, and I felt like I wasn't really very comfortable. I was dreaming, right? So I turned in bed, and then I injured my ribs and woke up.
Oh, gee.
And I was like, "Oh fuck!" And then I just had to eat something because I was hungry. Then I fell asleep again. But like, have you done it too? Like, you injure your ribs when you're sleeping and you're turning in bed, and you're waking up because you injure your ribs.
To a point where I would wake up with my blanket on the other side of the room.
Hey.
What?
My computer is right here.
I didn't know you'd be right up in my things, you space loneliness.
It's the autism again. We're sparking out on the internet.
The autism. Not gonna lie, I'm kind of retarded.
But wait a minute, aren't autism and Ehlers-Danlos recognized disabilities in your country?
Yes, they are comorbidities.
But-
Absolutely. Look, usually when people have a really fucked up, like, genetic disorder, usually autism is somewhere near there. Usually.
Yeah, because if you had that, you tend to spark out a little bit.
Yeah. Pain tends to make you notice things and pay more attention to your surroundings. So it only makes sense that pain disorders tend to make people super nutisters, and they can notice patterns, pattern recognition, which we all know is the work of Satan. Anyways, so,
Yeah, we can't notice anything. That's because we're a threat.
You can't notice anything. You can't notice patterns about statistics or anything about the real world that would offend the oligarchy. How dare you? We are totally not the Church of 1400s England. We are totally not.
No, absolutely not. We're just like a free society. Yeah, nothing fishy going on here. Because if something fishy was going on, right, then if you then you can just point it out, and everybody would say okay. But the reason why everybody shuts you down is because nothing fishy is going on, right?
I promise, nothing's happening. You don't have to shut it down, but you have to shut it down. You need to scoot over there. You know I'm bombastic in doing things, especially when I'm sitting still.
You're just spurging out, fam.
I'm just spurging out life.
Don't you like the term spurging out? You got forked.
The fork of justice.
Why do you get forked? Why don't you just get spooned? Or knifed? Or, I know what you get. You get cut by Elcom's razor. Oh my god, I have to send her the really funny picture and she have to share it. This is a really funny picture that explains the medical system perfectly. I need to share it with so that she can.
The medical field in 3 sentences.
It's not a picture. It explains it in a picture. That's how good it is.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if I can find it because I probably can't, but I can try. I only have pictures of myself doing stuff. In the meantime, you can just share this because it's kind of funny. If you can relate to this one. Hello, darkness, my old friend. I stood up too fast again.
Yeah, it's like me in a nutshell.
Yeah, because you never want to actually, sit up.
I never want to take my time. I always just want to get things done. Like it's.
I am so bad at focusing and get tired, so I always take my time. But the school system says you can't take your time. You need to do it fast, and you don't have anything to eat because fuck you.
I have always hated time trials in video games. Always hated. The only game where the time trials didn't make me want to shove a corkscrew through a pedestrian was the Saints Row reboot, which is surprisingly good and actually was funny and had the same humor as the old game, but people wanted to shit on it because it was popular at the time. Hey, look at me! Pay attention to me! It's in bright red letters. I have broke and destitute and destroyed all in bright red letters. Pay attention to me for 10 minutes. So that became its own internet cliche, and here we are in the aftermath.
Okay, now find the image. It's so perfect. This image explained the medical system perfectly. I sent you.
I want to say for the record, this is why I get kicked off of almost every stream I've ever been on. Because I always go on random tangents.
I mean, like if
and I just go afield for 5 seconds and then come back and then go back. Like I always do that. Also, I say forbidden words. So.
all right.
Yeah. Take that, Occam. What if Occam was a zebra? What if that trick to life? Occam was a zebra.
That would be a self-hating. That would make him a self-hater. I bet. Look, this is the medical system, right?
Occam's Razor Zebra. Razor Zebra sounds like an 80s like hair metal band.
It sounds like a good name for a YouTube channel. I was thinking about naming my YouTube channel because I'm Breton, the Breton Zebra, because Breton have a flag that is striped black and white.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know. I thought that's a backup name I could have. But I'd like them to distort.
Very. You might want to take your mescaline on that one. That's a very interesting explanation.
What is?
Exactly.
I'm spurging now. Sorry, I don't understand anything.
Now I am distraction, Christopher. Whatever.
No, dystropher.
Yes.
Distractifer.
Distractifer. Yeah.
Probably his third.
Yeah.
That's his second middle name.
Yeah. My fourth middle name is Distractifer elongatus.
What do you call if a giraffe and a zebra have a kid together?
A bastard. No.
No, you call it Christopher.
Yes. What if a zebra?
Poseidon Steven.
Yeah, no. That thing Poseidon wanted to make, but he thought was too risky.
No, but he did made it, and that's you.
He did make all the horses.
Yeah, he made all the horses.
Actually, you know what? Chris is not a zebra. He's a giraffe.
I rest my case.
I understand the giraffe goes moo.
No, the giraffe doesn't go anything. They don't sound.
They don't even speak. They're just pretentious and up there in the clouds. Like all giant things, like trees and myself.
Sorry, that was funny.
Like trees, myself, and other indigenous herbivores.
Indeed. But like the image is so good at describing the medical system, right?
Yeah.
It was something else I wanted to say.
Well, okay, we're going to learn about giraffes now because we're on this tangent. Okay.
Do you know that giraffes are the only mob in World of Warcraft? There's no quest for you to kill.
Oh, wow. All right.
That's odd, but I knew that was one reason.
You make my voice twice. Okay. Goodness.
Oh, that's so cute.
Okay, maybe we can't show it. That's okay.
You don't have your mic on. It's unmuted. Hello, darkness, my friend. Let's go to path again.
Also, screwed up teeth is another common.
Yeah, I had verses. Because they were very straight, but they were too dense. which is a common. I know it's a very common thing that you have crowded teeth.
Crowding is common. Crowding in high roofs, high up roofs, and crowding in the teeth, very common.
I actually try to explain why that occurs for EDS. I think it's when you grow, because it's not properly attached, the palate doesn't expand with the rest of your body, and then when the teeth go down, they don't have room enough, so it gets very crowded.
Yeah, I think you're right. Now, there's a common tooth thing. How this one sticks forward and is slightly shorter. I see that in a lot of people.
I had that.
Yeah.
I had. The one is a little bit longer, and it really bothers me.
So, okay, now that this has fully become divergent sembentrol, which could probably be an AIDS medication.
Sorry.
The neurodivergent almycollagen eat itself stream. Yes, the very same weird amalgam of broken peptides and protein molecules.
Like in microplastics, but on your body.
Yeah, like microplastics, but for all ages and not just Zoomers.
So you say very funny things. That's why you brush out the laughing.
Yeah. I'm the weird like bombastic showboaty autist. I'm the performing autist. I'm the he's a thespian mother. Oh, that's what they're calling it now. It's a thespian mother.
Rather than the Spurgian.
Yeah. I'm not smoking, I'm a thespian. I trained for this moment. Honed for it. Practiced deeply in the womb for it.
You do know how extreme autistic it is to make the distinction.
What?
Exactly.
My brain was like, okay, I'm gonna get back to
Your brain was foggy.
Yeah, I think this is a flex. Whoa. That's a flex. Like
That's not a flex.
well no, that is flexing, but it's all air.
So
My shoulders hurt. At least this one.
My back's hurting. But
Mine did before yesterday. My bum is hurting a little bit.
I need the projeculation all over the window. No. See, fun fact, I've noticed that when you have a chronic pain disorder and everything hurts and your life kind of sucks, somehow you have hope for the future.
Well, I have it because I want to get help. I don't even have an official diagnosis yet, for fuck's sake.
Yep. You actually have hope that things, not just in your own life, but in life in general, are going to get better. But if you're able-bodied and bored, you tend to think that the entire world is ending next summer.
Yeah, why are they so... I don't get it when somebody's completely able-bodied and they basically say, oh my god, I want to die. I'm like, but you're normal.
What's this? Your collagen isn't backwards? My god, man, you must be a champion amongst your people.
Are you just like, if your body's normal, then why the fuck don't you feel happy? That's usually what I want to ask some people. Like, why does, if your brain is normal and your body's normal, then what the fuck is your excuse of not being like doing the good things in the world that, like, you know, that everybody want to do? Like, what the fuck? It's so weird.
Why am you depression? Let me guess. You're eating all the high seed oil saturated polycarbonate transmutated transnutrient otherkin demon foods, or
Microplastics.
Is that why you're depressed? I wonder.
Maybe it's because society sucks.
Again, people who are able-bodied who fit in the whole black pill suppository crowd tend to, be very able-bodied.
They tend to.
They don't have any genetic disorders. What I'm getting at, they're not like
Or other disorders.
or Duchenne's muscular dystrophy or Ehlers-Danlos. Right? They're not dealing with any of those things.
Yeah, and they don't even deal with acquired disorders like paralysis either.
Yeah, no, they don't even have like more subtle conditions like your
Dyslexia.
yeah, or dyslexia or your spine's backwards or like, and again,
I have a really good.
and pain and all this stuff.
I have a really good expression of them. Do you want to hear it? Okay, here's.
Go for it.
I usually say that people who are able-bodied and black pillars, they tend to. This might sound a little bit bad, might not be very nice, but they tend to actually fit the description of privilege being invisible who doesn't have it.
In a weird way. And you're on both sides of the whole political dialogue that we've got going on here.
Yeah. Oh my God. Let's not go into that. Of course.
Yeah, no, again, I want it to be somewhat palatable to the people because disease. And
Me too.
You're sick too. Here, have a cookie.
Yeah, that's actually exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, if I'm basically talking about a disability, right? I don't really want to like talk about ideology and politics because I don't really want to. I don't just want to talk to people that have a disorder like I do, who agrees with me on other things because that's not really relevant.
Yeah.
Well, it could be if it specifically is about that thing, but it isn't. But otherwise, it's kind of like want to avoid it. Personally speaking.
Yeah. Again, it's. I've noticed that. Actually, let me give you an example. What's his name? What's that? I think he's British. The actor that plays Superman, really buff Chad, nerd guy.
Christopher Reeves?
Yeah, the other one. The recent one, Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill has said on numerous occasions that the comfort zone is where dreams begin to die. And what is pornography and easily accessible, filled with horrible seed oil foods? It is the comfort zone. It is the, you are comfortable now. Now do your wage slavery and nothing else. Don't be productive. So that's really what those two things do to people.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So again, if you're depressed and you want to change your things, maybe cut out some types of foods, caffeine, sugar.
I never drink like coffee, at least.
Yeah, but you want to do it in slow increments. Honestly, I still drink a lot of sugar. That hypoglycemic kind of have to, but at the same time, get rid of the internet porn and get rid of the really crappy seed oil products.
You don't need porn. Everything's in here.
Soy or seed oils is not going to help you. It's going to cause inflammation, bone degradation, and mental paralysis.
Like, I don't watch any porn, but I still like masturbate a lot and I'm a virgin, so.
I mean, again.
And that's good because the porn is the bad thing, and I don't need that.
If you're single, you do want to help the prostate, granted.
Yeah.
If you're married, you want to help the prostate with your partners.
Exactly.
And nothing else. Stop the polyamory. Stop the depression. And get out of your shitty Californian apartment where everyone hates you and everyone's trying to drug you or kill you. And then flee to the middle of the Midwest in a corn patch. Find a random Viking broad and go, "You are my wife. We will ascend the mountain together." And she goes, "Jawohl, husbando." And there you go. You make a pair.
Exactly. Well, I'm going back to Africa. I don't know about you.
Also, take vitamin D. Take enough vitamin D to make the sun shine out of your ass.
I take vitamin D tablets every day.
You have to take it with fat.
Mm-hmm.
With fats. Eat bacon and vitamin D pills. Do that every morning at the crack of dawn when the sun is shining on your grizzled expression.
No, I can't eat the same food every day. That would go crazy.
Well,
Chris and I take a 10,000 IU every day, or at least we try to.
Yeah, which is something I think to be very impressive.
I thoroughly believe that the recommendation of vitamin D specifically is way lower than what it really should be. The recommendation is way low than what it should be. Because I know people who take way more than the recommended daily dose, of myself being one of them, and if anything, we feel like human beings. Less chance of cancer, less chance of depression. You're more open to do things. You want to get your stuff done. Also, have vitamin C. It will help your brain fog from your brain kicking you in the cockles.
Don't we get brain fog from this Danlos garbage?
What?
Don't we get brain fog from this Danlos garbage?
Sure.
I mean, like,
okay, brain fog. That was the word. Speaking of brain fog, I went retarded for 3 minutes. I apologize, co-host.
you just spurged out a little bit, dude.
Again, I want to help people. I want them to be happy and healthy and fit. Because you will be a better person even if it's just basic bitch crunches and basic exercise. As long as you're doing something, you have more energy, you're more fluid, you don't hurt as much. Even if you have a pain disorder, if you move around, it distracts you from the pain. That's a natural human process.
Unless you do it in a way that causes more pain.
Yeah, well, obviously, look, if you just look at your shoulder, you don't want to bend it backwards, right? But that being said, pain disorders like ours, basic mobility helps strengthen the joints and kind of get us out of that funk of pain depression. It helps get us out of it. And it helps you get out of it. Again, you don't want to overdo it to where your bones are falling off, but you at least want to do it enough to where, again, even just a little amount, you'll see results. Even a little amount of mobility and exercise.
Yeah, I have really poor mobility because it's so hard to get out because it hurts so much.
Yes. Now,
but I'll still go out if I want to. If I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it despite the pain. Even if I fucking fall down, because I often do, I'm still gonna do it. By the way, do you also wake up from pain sometimes when you sleep?
Yes. Yeah. I wake up in pain every so often. I wake up with bruises. I wake up with scratches. I wake up with. Sometimes I wake up in the other room. It happens. Also, I have a hair stuck in my. I have a hair in my hair pile.
Then you know you're a man.
Yes. Now you know you have masculinity flowing through your blood.
And autism.
Yes, autism and T levels. We are a mass collection of autism, T levels, and Italian handgun.
Yeah, it's like the T in autism.
Yes, we are the vitamin T of autism. We are the vitamin D of sun shining out your left butt cheek. We are we are legion. We are one. Hello, Jesus, the savior of mankind. I acknowledge that more than the joke. Anyway, so
we all do.
Oops. The whole Legion thing really throws like half of that book into a weird turn spin that no one wants to pay attention to. But,
yeah, we should not go into that tangent because it'll take like 15 minutes.
Yeah, no, probably not. Lol. So if you want to hear more things that never should be said or never should be spoken aloud by mortal hands,
we can go to his YouTube channel.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, what I was going to say is the channel is Christofferson.
That's very autistic.
Because it's elongated to say, but at least it's one name. It's not like synthetic man, polymorphic, diametric chamber. Right? Like what the fuck kind of YouTube name?
Speaking of channels,
polymorphic diametric chamber. Like,
what do you think about the name I had?
For what?
For I was like jokingly, should I call on a Discord server, should I call my name the Breton Zebra because I'm a Breton, or should I call myself Disordered Drew?
Oh, Bretonian Zebra. Wow, Bretonian is Brittany, but that's actually in French.
Exactly, that's where my ancestry is from.
Brittany is not in French?
It is!
But Bretonian
according to Greg, Bretonian is Britain. According to Greg, yeah.
I always thought it was,
That's what I thought.
Wait, is Greg a Breton too?
Yes.
Oh my fucking god! I never met one on Discord. Jesus Christ, it's amazing.
I've never met a Bretonian like me before.
Comment à Reis Brézoun.
Bretonian would be Britain, but Brighton would be.
You want to hear something interesting?
Sure.
Eu com Brézoun. I actually spoke Breton there, if you didn't know.
Here's something. Wo sind mein Lager? Ich kann nicht gehabt Mund. Dein großes Will.
That's Deutsche, German.
Yeah. Yeah, I retained some of it, not enough of it, but I retained some of it.
Yeah, I don't really very good at speaking Breton, but I still can get by. Actually, I spoke with a lady, and we couldn't speak any other language in common besides Breton, so we had to speak Breton to each other.
Oh wow, nice.
I was like,
Yeah, it's good with this. We're gonna have to wrap this up. Yeah, I'll think of some weird elongated name about. Should I make this clickbaity where it's like, congratulations, you have a collagen death disorder. Sign right up to my monthly subscription of £29 an hour.
you could call it pain instead of death, but I have to mention one thing more, or guess two things. That's okay. There's one thing people need to know. That's like the heel bumps. A lot of people with hypermobile EDS have like these bumps in the back of the heel.
Oh, yeah.
Do you got those?
I think so. He said heels. Not really. It's kind of smooth.
Not everybody has them, but many people do. Like one friend of mine, his heels look like, imagine like gravel, and then you could throw a carpet on the gravel. He looks like that, and I don't know if I have those too, because when I ask people, different people say different things. I'm like,
yeah.
But I don't know what you didn't say what subtype you have.
Didn't say what?
Subtype.
I only know of two of them.
No, but that you got.
Oh, well, I know type 3. We thought type 4, which is the vascular one, but we're starting to think it's something else.
Oh, phew.
But we still think there's a weird second type going on because my mother has a lot of symptoms. Yeah.
I think that even if you have one subtype, you can still have symptoms of others.
Yeah, because remember when I looked at your genetic notes, it said you didn't have the vascular type, but you had like a separate other thing.
Yeah, it said I had type 3 and a type of figure out.
I think you were diagnosed with the old criteria because they're like different names now.
Yeah, they probably.
Remember, there were 13 different
Yeah, they have
types.
13 times. I'm not super old. I am technically millennial, but I'm not like. I'm only 27.
Yeah, that's pretty young.
A couple months time,
But I also know that some subtypes cannot currently be co-diagnosed.
Yeah.
Like if you have hypermobile EDS and classical, if you pass the criteria for hypermobile EDS and have a positive test for classical EDS, you only get diagnosed with classical EDS. I don't know if that you thought that might be relevant to mention before we end it.
Yeah, no, yeah, I can see that. So yes, we may at some point do similar things in the nearby future. Me and Drew, the collagen lactic acidic morphic diet, we're meat bags, and
Blood bags and bones.
Yes, we are meat bags with a lot of pokey bone bits in there.
That just flop around and wiggle around and can't stand up.
Grind well before drinking.
Think about that, or vampires might be listening, and that was too artistic for even me.
No, Mr. Head of the EU, I am not a vampire's thrall, I promise. Now, can I buy you a mansion?
Oh God, I hope they're not listening in. We're live, those they might.
Oh no, the EU, whatever shall we in the Freedom Land do?
Well, I'm just gonna move because I'm actually stuck in the EU, and the thing is that about being a human, Actually, some place in the EU where I've been living, I noticed when I go there, my mental health actually drops. So to the point that when I moved to so when I've been in the EU, some parts of it, and moved to South Africa, my mental health improved significantly, almost over a day.
Yeah. That was the case for me moving from California to the middle of the corn patch.
Yeah, if people feel depressed and they live in the same place forever, they might want to move. Like it could actually do the trick.
Yeah.
Don't even have to leave the country, but you might want to move.
It's a trick for me and most of my friends. It was the trick for a guy in Direhawks that's trying to talk to.
That's
he
cool.
lived in California and now he's in Arizona, and he's improved from what I've seen. He's gotten a lot better.
That's nice to hear.
But anyways, to remain anonymous there in the foyer.
Someone moved from California. I don't really think you can be doxxed by that. It's too broad.
Yeah, no, yeah. Someone in the largest state in the country
left it because it's shit.
It's close enough, woman. Okay. It's first in terms of population out of the top 3.
The biggest area is Alaska.
Yeah, the biggest area is Alaska, but no one fucking lives there.
Why would you want to live? Okay, I think I can think of a few reasons. Actually, a lot of reasons, but I can't because I can't stand the cold. Okay, this is one thing I need to mention about EDS. It's very important, right? That is that you feel cold in your extremities a lot. That's the reason why I usually wear heat regulations.
Yeah.
And I'm actually gonna get a cool looking one, so I don't have to look like a medical patient.
Yeah, I tend to get hot very easily. Like, unless it's below 60 Fahrenheit, I get really hot really quick.
Oh, I sweat very quickly and I freeze very quickly. It's like you need it, and even I can sweat on my torso, and then I can freeze on my elbow.
Yeah, to me, like 3 degrees Celsius is comfortable.
I need to have hot. I need to be like South Africa hot, right? Or European summer hot. Otherwise, I'm gonna like. Nah.
You're in the wrong part of the world, my friend.
I am aware, but I guess I am aware. I'm just spurring now. That's why I say. But yeah, exactly right. But here's I believe think it's because if your body's not connected properly, it's not going to heat up. It's not going to regulate heat properly, and that's the reason why I have this on my elbow, right? So that my extremities doesn't freeze too much. Because even if the room is warm and I'm warm, my extremities can still freeze, and that's not good and that hurts. And when I get cold, I hurt.
Another symptom of our glorious, bizarre condition is resistance to numbing medication, resistance to anesthesia and numbing medication.
Oh my god, that explains something. That explains.
Resistance, I don't mean you can pump a full bit and it doesn't do anything. No, I mean you need a little extra for it to do what it's supposed to do. So it's not full on like we're immune to like local anesthetic. It's just that we need extra anesthetic to really get to the area.
That's good because otherwise it would have sucked.
Yeah, because and also do not take hydrocodone, Norco/APAP before getting your gums numbed for the dentist. One of those will stop working, and it's not the one you want to stop working.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah, no. So. But anyways, I will say a very Merry Christmassy, get fucked, good luck, and that's Ryle's outro. Fuck. What's my outro again?
I basically think that the best outro would be to say that we are disconnecting, both literally and figuratively.
Yeah, disconnect, but not with the brain box. Disconnect with the cellular electromagneto.
Used everywhere in the body, basically.
Yeah. Just disconnect, but not with metal. Don't disconnect with a railway spike in your cerebral cortex. It's not fun. It's a very, very long weekend that way.
That's true. And on that note, I will end the stream.